Hello, my name is Michael Bray. This is the Week 2 assignment for the Business Intelligence Leadership course. Today I'm going to talk to you about Best Buy's successful business turnaround strategy. For the executive summary of Best Buy's turnaround, we start in 2010 at the turn of the new decade when Best Buy faced an uphill battle to stay relevant in the online retail e-commerce industry. Best Buy as a company had too many stores, too many highly paid managers, and not enough return on investment with items that were sold explicitly in store. To put it in simple terms, Best Buy was outstretched on many fronts. In order to combat this overextension that literally drove up costs, and the company decided to consolidate stores, realign management and employee models. They decided to re-examine products they were selling and recognize the actual competition that extended from the Amazon effect, which was real. Instead of focusing on the short-term earnings, Best Buy changed their focus to match a long-term results-driven approach. In order to do that, the solution practice had to be a winning one. With the Renew Blue initiative, Best Buy has turned their sights towards a more efficient practice in terms of customer experience, transformative leadership, innovative vendor selection, growing revenue, and recycling efforts to make the world a better place. The leadership qualities have shown to be successful, from the increased revenue and sales to the return of stockholder equity with increased dividends. Some of the challenging factors that faced Best Buy was during the fiscal year 2012, the management admitted that its struggles to grow revenue and profits were not just temporary headwinds, but actually a permanent shift in the consumer electronics retail business. They recognized the new challenges their company faced and how they needed to adapt. Best Buy knew it could not stop the Amazon effect. However, Best Buy could focus on in-store customer experiences, investing in employees, and creating value for shareholders. These three items are what separates Best Buy and Amazon. The focus on capital stewardship has turned once a downtrodden company into a rising one. With cutting internal costs and closing stores that were not deemed necessary and moving out of regions entirely in the domestic front, Best Buy has proven successful in capital allocation and balance sheet management. Noted here on the left, Best Buy's invested capital, the amount of cash invested in a company, that has fallen from $15.6 billion in fiscal year 2012, prior to the Renew Blue campaign, to $7.7 billion in fiscal year 2018. The net PP&E has been cut by 30%, total debt is down 53%, and off-balance sheet operating leases are down 57%. Meanwhile, the cash on hand increased from $1.2 billion in fiscal year 2012 to $3.1 billion in 2018. As a result, Best Buy's peer group, which consists of Amazon, Costco, eBay, Kohl's, Target, and Home Depot, to name a few, are generating less revenue per dollar of invested capital. Now, while Best Buy did invest more and grow its offering in the e-commerce field, it has maintained the need for in-store services. The quality of experience and the customer receives in-store predominantly drives its continuation so far, and will do so in the future. While Amazon, for primary example, is a primary online store, they too are looking toward a physical location in the future. And Best Buy has worked this avenue in a different way, with being a primarily in-store service and growing their brand online. Two different approaches. However, both companies have worked on collaboration efforts with TV and products that also deal with exclusivity. For example, customers can test out or try out certain pieces of technology in a Best Buy store and then work through Amazon's online retail center to buy the products via Best Buy sale. Thus, the storefront still holds true. Some obstacles that were faced and probably prevented the success early on were difficult ones, and there were clear signs as to what Best Buy was enduring. Best Buy had an outdated model of doing business in the technology field. The U.S. economy was facing tough times in early 2010s, and the profit margins showed that on the balance sheet. With facing reduced revenue and maintaining an expensive model for a thriving business, Best Buy was shown the writing on the wall. In-store technology businesses were becoming a thing of the past. Why would a customer go into a store and buy a phone or a laptop when they could purchase it online? Why would someone go into the store and pay for a luxury piece of technology that might be overpriced during a recession? The answer to these broad questions is they wouldn't. If the bad times were not to last long, Best Buy had to be able to have the answer to any question. B, why wouldn't someone want to come into the physical store location? With enhanced customer service like Geek Squad and innovative technology centers in the store, Best Buy realigned their goals and updated their model. While the in-store obstacle was present, so too is the burning desire for outside investors and expert financial pundits to provide input in an opinion form, and the opinion being that Best Buy might be best suited to be solely online. That push and narrative from outside parties was probably discussed internally. However, the avenue in which Best Buy pursues turns out to be a profitable one. Shown here is the balance sheet that gave Best Buy a little bit more stable footing. The company still needs to translate its growing revenue into operating profits, but since fiscal year 2014, the first full year of the Renew Blue campaign, Best Buy's margins have improved from 2.1% to 3.4%. In fiscal year 2018, meanwhile, the peers' margins have steadily declined over the same time. These higher margins are especially impressive when you consider the aggressive price match guarantee Best Buy instituted to compete with Amazon and other online retailers. This proves that intelligent management enables this brick-and-mortar retailer to compete on price. One of the first steps in Best Buy's turnaround was cost cutting. At the forefront, cost cutting makes financial sense where the company gets rid of unnecessary spending or expenses. A part of the cost cutting does happen to include jobs in certain instances. The realignment of the workforce for Best Buy was meant to reinvigorate the employees. However, this time did mean that many managers and supervisors were let go in order to regain control of the spending and costs. This speaks to a leadership tactic where giving people reasons to care is a leadership example that's clearly present here. It's vitally important that leaders and constituents arrive at a consensus on shared values, because once they have articulated, those values become a pledge to the employees, customers, clients, business partners, and other constituents. What Best Buy's leadership practice showed was that when they preached the need for realignment and readjusting, they actually followed through with it and also implemented those own procedures on themselves, not taking bonus payouts and keeping the salary increases to a minimum because you were cutting jobs on one end. Leading by example is how Best Buy has been able to become successful. Showcased here on the slide, you'll see that numerous case studies show that getting that return on invested capital, or ROIC, right is an important part of making smart investments. Best Buy at 89%, as shown on the right-hand side, at having an ROIC, which is comparable and ahead of Costco and Amazon. And then in the top right is in a list of investment funds that actually hold Best Buy stock and have them as an attractive or better rating. A financial culmination of sorts of what successful leadership can look like, with the stark contrast of what the outlook that was present in the beginning of the 2010 decade. Thank you very much.